We're going to look at front foot elevated split squat variations that we can do. So as you can see here, as the name implies, the front foot is going to be elevated. Now, the degree of elevation is going to depend on the individual and the goal of the exercise, but generally speaking, we're going to have something around 2 or 1 bumper plate high as far as the height of the front foot goes. Now, I'll get Mal to set up. We'll start off with more of like the quads variation, but again, general considerations are going to come back in for the setup here. Remember that rib cage to pelvic position, we're going to have to keep these in line throughout the movement. She's going to have to make sure that she, of course, breathes and braces appropriately for the demands of the movement as well. So with that out of the way, I'll get Mal to set up. For the quad dominant variation, things we're looking at again here is we're going to look to keep those hips in extension. We'll keep that rib cage with that, and then we're going to make sure that the hips do not flex back, but rather that front knee drives forward as much over the toe as she can actively do within her range of mobility and strength demands as well. And of course, this is going to be load dependent as well. Now, if I were to get Mal to do more of a glute dominant one here, again, she's going to shift that back foot a bit longer, a bit of a longer stance. Hips are going to flex a little bit more. Rib cage is then moving to meet the demands of those hips. She's then going to move down, and think of this much more as a down and up movement, whereas the quad dominant was more of a forward to back movement. So you can see that there's very minimal forward to back shift here. It's much more of that dropping into that length and range of the glutes and then using that to extend back up to the top. Now, these are both great variations for those who maybe don't quite have the mobility in that rear leg to be able to get into that full range split squat, but also for those that have got great mobility, the floor doesn't become a limiter as far as your total range of mobility.